Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm back with part 2 of my eco dyeing using an embossing machine. I used my Cricut Cuttlebug. I know that they are no longer being made, but there are various embossing machines out there. They also use to cut the wafer thin dies and things like that. So anyways, I just thought I'd show you my results. This beautiful piece is not from my embossing machine. This silk scarf was done in a class that I took on eco dyeing, and we did the steaming method. So we would lay out this long piece of cloth, most of it was silk, put our leaves down after they'd been dipped in some rusty treatment. I don't know if it was rust water or some sort of mordant. Then we did some other things and then wrapped them up, tied them with some rope, and then they were steamed, and we got these really nice colors. So it's a really deep purple. I'm using a dark background, hoping that will show the colors a little better this video. So this is what you can achieve when you use a steamer and silk and leaves and the right mordants. And I just brought that out for comparison. So this is a piece of muslin, and I put fresh poinsettia leaves on this and ran this through the Cuttlebug. So I had sandwiched it like this, and you could see that in part 1 of my video about how I did that, how I set it up. And then this one, I just dipped it in some rinse water. I didn't add any mordants or rust or anything. Some of it got on the edges of the fabric. But basically, this is just what happens with the leaves and some water. That's about it. So that was a nice result, but obviously you can see the color difference. I did also use a sugar maple leaf in this purple scarf, so that does play a role in your results. But here is this was a eucalyptus leaf, and I put this in some water. I think I did the rust water with that as well. And I'm just going to flip through. Most of these, like I said, were just put into a rusty bath, water, dipped. You could see how I did that in the other video. These are all the fabric samples. So this is cotton and eucalyptus leaves. Some more of that. Where there wasn't a lot of leaf matter to pick up in the fabric took on more of the rust. So that was interesting. This is one of the few results I got where they're green. And I have to say that since I did this, these colors have developed. This was all poinsettia leaves, and they were sitting next to a piece that had the eucalyptus leaves. So it's interesting how a week or two later I'm getting these bright greens that I did not see at first. I'll have to see if I took some photographs that day, because if I did, I'll post some comparisons, maybe in the comments or on my Facebook page, or I'll slip them into the video if I can figure out how to edit that. This blue linen just took a nice little bit. I have ironed all of these after they dried. And then this was a piece of natural colored linen. Actually, I think it's more of a tan, so it might have been colored before, I don't know. But now I have the green coming back out into the piece. The rust water gave a mordant, or the rust water gave a color that's kind of a purplish black. It's a unique color. And then there's some more of the poinsettia leaves and the eucalyptus leaves. I tried to do more of a wreath type layout in this. Didn't work as well as I had hoped. Then here was a little piece of muslin. And then this piece is some of the leaves that I dyed just like this. And I cut some of it apart. I added some batting, and I did some stitching into the leaf. I used some purple and some kind of like a silver gray, light gray. And I made that to go with, I'm going to try to get all this in shot. This is a fabric book cover I'm making. I'm making a fabric covered journal with paper pages. So the whole reason behind my entire experiment using the embossing machine to get the leaf prints was to make pages for this journal that I'm making. So this is the cover in its process. I'm still working on it. These were fabrics that I did in the summer with rust and water and tea and rusty objects in the water, some leaves wrapped around, and I just let it sit in the summer sun for a couple of days. And it rained one day and filled up the tub that this was all sitting in, and I don't know, I just got some really cool colors. So I teamed it up with some black plaid linen, some just gray cotton, purple velvet, some white wool, and I made this piece, like I said, with those results from the embossing machine in case I needed to add extra onto this, because this is going to fit a book that's going to have roughly 30 pages maybe. So we'll see. We'll see how big I need to go. I'm still in the process of making that. So that's all the fabric results. I wanted to show you the paper results. So the paper I used was handmade cotty paper. I'll show that label again. And this is what I got. It's 100% cotton. It's called Cotton Rag, and it's handmade in India. I got this off of Amazon, so it's not super expensive, but it's rated at 320 GSM. So if you're interested in that, that is what I used. And then I also used just some Accent brand cardstock for the printer. I think it is just white. Just as far as the weight, I'm going to say this is probably a 60 pound. It's not quite 80, so it's probably a 60 pound. So here's were some of the results that I got. This was the one I thought was the coolest because it looks like one of those ink blot tests. And I think this is really super neat. You don't get a lot on the inside. When I did the leaf, I put it here, folded it, ran it through the machine. I let them sit, and then I dipped them into the rusty water. And then I rinsed them and I drip dry, and I can actually feel, because the leaves left a little bit of, what do we call it, leaf juice, organic matter on the paper. So it's weird that there is, even after a few weeks, some texture to this. But most of the cotty paper turned out looking something like this. And I like how, as time has gone by, I'm getting stronger colors and some texturing going on. So if the paper's folded this way, it's just because I was manipulating it for orientation in my journal. But I did put it through the embosser like that. So there's some more of that. And these ones were dipped, I think this was just rinsed with water now that I look at my other ones. These were the ones that I dipped into the rust water. This just went through clean water. And this turned out, you can see stuff on the inside as well. Again, the poinsettia leaves became green. And the paper came out this orange brown. This is all the cotty paper. So, some really neat prints. I like this kind of weird purple black of the eucalyptus leaves. Again, like I said, it's getting texture in these, as if whatever came out of the plant when it was squeezed in the embossing machine, it kind of left behind a little texture. It's quite interesting. So now we're into the just regular white cardstock. Like I said, I think it's 65 pounds, something like that. And I'm really happy with these results, considering that it's winter, it's Ohio, it's cold, I can't go outside to mess around with experimenting and dyeing. I got some really nice results, not using any steam or anything more than just some water that has some rusty pieces in it that it's been soaking, and just the leaves themselves. Nice bonus from those poinsettias I got at Christmas time to get these really nice colors. So the next step for these pages will be to put a lot of them into the journal that's going to be in this cover. It's part of a weekly project I'm doing. And just really liked, like I said, this was pretty much a no fuss method. Now this one I laid on top of a paper towel at one point, and as you can see, wherever the paper towel was, it left behind a print. So I'm going to guess that because this was dipped in that rust water, and then I did rinse them, and they smell better this time. The last time I dipped them in rust water, I did not rinse them. This time I did a bunch of rinsing, and they smell a lot better. They had smelled like strongly of vinegar before. So again, this one had the paper towel under it. I was just making a stack as I was going through the process, and I had a paper towel on top of the plastic sheeting, and so it picked those marks up, which is kind of cool. Again, some of these were just slightly dipped. Most of them were just completely dipped. Now this is probably the weakest piece that I have, and probably will not use this as a page in that journal. It has to be sturdy and stand up to being turned. So that's it for the results for my embossing machine eco prints. I had read something about eco printing has to be means that you use steam to get the transfer of the print and the color, and I'm really not sure what the exact definition is, but I do know that I used organic matter such as the leaves. I used some I guess we'd call it scientific experiment with using water that has rusty elements in it, so the water is rusty. Added some vinegar, and my next experiment is to do copper. So I've got copper pennies soaking, and they're not making any change in the water, so I have to rethink that process. And just a little show and tell. I went away this weekend and I found a couple of these old spools. So I will be doing a meditation scroll on one of them, or on both of them actually, and those will be done throughout the year. So I guess that's all. This was my result from doing the embossing machine prints with eucalyptus leaves and poinsettia leaves. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll give it a try and let me know your results. I got some helpful tips on the last video about how to make the solution for the penny, so I'm hoping to be able to sort that out and get that going for the next fabric and paper dyeing session. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe if you want to know what I'm doing. Next video up, I might have a project share. I've been doing a whole lot of stitching, obviously, and want to share some of those projects. So have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye.